Morning. Storm Eowyn is hitting the UK at the moment. Damaging gusts of wind are expected in the coming hours. Met Office red warnings are in place. The storm itself has been intensifying through the night and continues to track its way slowly but surely just up to the northwest of Northern Ireland. The strongest winds on its southern flank barreling in right now across the west of the Republic of Ireland. Strongest winds across Northern Ireland through the morning rush hours. These gust graphics show gusts of 70, 80 miles an hour, 90-mile-an-hour gusts possible, maybe even more than that on exposed coasts. We'll then see the strongest winds working their way into central and southwestern parts of Scotland during the morning, and probably picking up a little bit late morning here into the early part of the afternoon. That's when those darker colours are moving through. But strong winds across northern England, North Wales as well. And then as the storm system moves away to the north, it'll take those strong winds across northern Scotland later today and still through the night into tomorrow morning. The warnings are constantly being monitored. Red warnings in place for Northern Ireland, central and southwestern Scotland. In this zone, we're expecting gusts of 80 to 90 mile an hour, potentially 100 miles an hour on exposed coast. They'll be pretty isolated, but nevertheless, these kind of winds, damaging gusts of wind, likely to cause disruption, potential damage to structures, bringing down power cables, bringing down branches, if not whole trees, and that is also likely to cause widespread travel disruption. Think about your journeys today. Do you have to make those journeys, particularly if you're in this red warning area? We also have amber warnings flanking those red areas where gusts of wind are also likely to cause damage and potential power outages, along with widespread travel disruption across northern England, North Wales, and also across much of northern Scotland. Gusts of wind through the day of 60, 70 miles an hour widely, 80 miles an hour in some places, and maybe higher than that again in exposed areas around coasts and over the tops of hills. A yellow wind warning covering the south, where the winds won't be as strong, but nevertheless could potentially cause some disruption. We also have warnings for rain after yesterday's rain across the southwest. More to come today could cause problems. And yes, that is snow falling across the hills of central and northern Scotland, even at lower levels for a time. But the snow over the higher ground will continue through the day and really could build up, so that's an extra hazard. After the wet and windy start, it does turn a bit brighter across England and Wales through the day. The winds will ease a little, but it's a very, very gusty day with those strongest winds this afternoon across western Scotland, transferring into northern parts of Scotland. Temperature-wise, well, it's a much milder start than it has been of late. By this afternoon, actually, temperatures may dip a little across the south, generally 7 or 8 Celsius here, 5 or 6 further north. Obviously, it's going to feel colder than that with the strength of the wind, which will continue to be very, very stiff, and those damaging gusts of wind continue across northern Scotland through this evening and indeed overnight. The amber warning is in place into Saturday morning here. Still snow falling over the higher routes as well. Elsewhere, it does turn a little calmer through this evening and overnight, and as the winds ease with clear skies, likely to see frost in many places to start the weekend. Still some of that rain lingering across parts of Kent into Saturday morning, but many other areas are starting Saturday with a touch of frost, certainly in rural areas. Towns and cities maybe a touch above, but a cold start to the weekend. For many, though, it's a dry and a bright start. Plenty of sunshine for England, Wales and southern parts of Scotland. There'll still be very strong winds across northern Scotland. They'll slowly ease through the day. Then we'll see more showers coming in as the winds pick up again across Northern Ireland and westernmost coast. But I say for many, Saturday looks like a dry and a bright day with some sunny spells and temperatures close to average for the time of year. 5s and 6s across the north, 7 to 9 Celsius further south. But we're maybe not done with the lively weather. Even by the second half of the weekend, eyes out in the Atlantic. The jet is particularly active at the moment. It's what's powering in Storm Eowyn. That is clearing away during Saturday, but out in the Atlantic, another area of low pressure is developing. This is unlikely to be as powerful, but of course these weather fronts will be providing more rain, and after a recent spell of wet weather, this could cause some further flooding issues. The isobars are still pretty close together as well. As I said, this storm not as powerful, the winds maybe not as strong, but nevertheless we could see some disruption from the strength of the wind during the second half of the weekend. So we do have Met Office warnings in place for that as well. Please do keep up to date with everything that's going on. Best way to do that is to subscribe to our YouTube channels, making sure you're following us across social media. For the full details of all the warnings, which are constantly being monitored, you can get our free app or you can visit our website.